Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the King and I Life
Powered
podcast
by
hosted by
Riverside.
myself, Soul Time Poet, and my brother
Son Soul Lex up in here.
Yo, welcome back. We off to another week of some dope topics and dope conversations. We got some more coming up in the future. So, hey, tune in, man. Just tune in with us.
For sure.
For the riddle winners and stuff like that, T-shirts are in the mail. Y'all should be getting those very, very soon.
Yes.
Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all of that.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate everything that, the people have been showing us great responses, and we appreciate it deeply. It humbles us. Again, we look forward to giving out more T-shirts, man.
Oh yeah.
I gotta come up with some more riddles, but it's all good. For the last two winners, again, we appreciate it. And for those of you who did not get a chance to watch those episodes or listen to those episodes, the first riddle was what goes through water but does not get wet. The answer was a ray of sunlight. The second riddle was how many sides do a circle have? Answer is 2, inside, outside. But again, we appreciate it. And if you guys want to reach us, you can hit us up at KingAndEye369@gmail.com. Again, that's KingAndEye369@gmail.com. We'd love to have you on the show, or if you have a topic you want us to discuss, send it in.
No, yeah, definitely. And definitely follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, like, subscribe, share. Hit us up on that Patreon. We got some others. We probably transition away from Patreon into Apple Podcast subscription. So that's going to be in the works. So we'll decide how that comes about. But other than that, we about to jump into this topic. Should there be another Million Man March? And if so, what is the purpose of the march? So for years, African Americans have fought for equal rights on so many fronts due to the obvious oppressions that have been dealt for generations. Because of this historical hindrance in American culture, in 1995, with the voice of Louis Farrakhan, the first Million Man March was held in Washington, D.C. So let's jump into, I guess, what are your thoughts on the Million Man March? Like the first one, and like you had asked me, would you have attended?
I actually did not get a chance to attend the Million Man March. And it's kind of like I found out about it the day of the damn event.
Oh, wow.
So I actually was kind of ticked, man. I was like, how in the hell did no one not tell me about this? I was just so much on the move at the time, I didn't hear about it. But knowing that it was, happening, had I had the proper notice, I would have attended.
Really?
I just think that it's one of those events where it gives us, the light to be in a positive light, to share our ideals and to have that camaraderie of knowing, that the struggles that we face in this nation, there are other men going through the same thing. But yeah, I definitely would have attended had I had a proper notification.
Me, I think at that time I probably would have, but looking now, I mean, I didn't attend. I knew about it and everything, but I wouldn't have attended. I guess my personal feelings on it is there would have been no follow up with it, and I say from the overall Black community. Um, that march was supposed to be something that not only brought us together as men, Black men, but also let the country know that, hey, you know, y'all need to chill with all the nonsense, all the oppressions that are still here, all the brutality that is still here, all the all the limitations that the country in certain areas is still placing upon us. Um, but then, as I always say, you have to have 100%. You have to have the participation in order to make change. Yes, the march did make some change in so many areas that are internal to us, but again, with the greater population of our people outside of those who attended, there's still flaws out there that need to be fixed. So I mean, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I get that. Um, Me just thinking rationally though, I'm kind of I have mixed emotions about it, right? Because the thing about it is, like I said, I would have attended, but I wouldn't have attended for the commercial aspects of it. Meaning, part of me think it was kind of like a head count. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see how many people we can actually get to show up,
Mm,
so we can have an idea of how. Um, let's see if they will actually come together. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like, I kind of feel like it was a head count on that aspect. But again, the thing about it for me was just being around, my brothers, and, being able to discuss what we're seeing and experiencing, in this nation. Um, I, I know that area made who knows how much money during that time. I
mm-hmm,
mean, a lot of money was made during that time. And again, not, hating on the city because, they opened their doors up to the event.
mm-hmm.
But again, I just know that there was a lot of money made. So again, I just have mixed emotions about it.
Um, I wouldn't even. I mean, I understand where you're coming from as far as the money being made, but
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that you have to overlook when it comes to something like that, because regardless of where they have it or any type of event like that, it's going to be money's going to be made because people
Oh
got to
yeah,
eat,
definitely,
people
definitely.
got to stay somewhere.
Uh-huh.
You know, people got to sponsor, support this, that, and that. So money's going to be made regardless. So for
Yep.
me, that's not a factor. As
Mm-hmm.
far as the head count aspect of it, um, I guess that kind of goes to my point of no follow up, because it's like, yeah, let's see how many of our brothers we can get out here, blah blah blah, and make a stand and blah blah blah, and then there's no follow up. You know,
Right.
yes, we can get these brothers out here. Well, let's see how many we can get out here. We can preach this and preach that, and this person can say this person can say that. But how much weight is it going to hold on the hearts and minds of these brothers that are out there? When they go back to their communities, is it going to be, oh yeah, I went to the Million Man March. It was this, it was that, and then are they going to follow that up with action in their communities? Um, and those who could not make it for various reasons, hey, it's too far, couldn't afford it, whatever the case may be, you know are they going to watch this and be like, you know what, let's make a change in our community? And for me, again, although it did serve a lot of good and it probably helped in certain communities, but
Mm-hmm.
the problem I have is still out there killing each other, still out there getting high and not being progressive. I mean, And I'm not talking about the person who smokes weed for whatever the case may be. I'm talking about these people who out there like out there doing hard shit and they're not progressing, but they the same people cheering on the Million Man March. Um, Still got people, you know, selling drugs, blaming the white man for this, blaming the white man for that. When again, at the end of the day, if we don't have the participation and people change their mindset, as good as the Million Man March was, could be, could have been, you know, if the people don't have the proper mindset, it's just for show to me.
I mean, I totally get where you're coming from because, you know, like you said, the follow up, like, it's good that, you know, they got together. It's good that a lot of information was shared. But again, what good is the information that's being shared if it's not impactful, meaning being applied?
Right.
So I definitely feel you on that. Um, I'll say this: we, some of us, want to blame other people for our situation. Um, Me personally, I can't go that route because I know that there's a bigger agenda when it comes down to that. I think it's kind of like what has been done in the past is still continually being done, but it's being done by us to us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, you know, he put things in motion and then just sat back and let it ride. But no, I can't continuously blame another um, species of people for our situation now. So my thing is this, right? If we're gonna have, you know, get-togethers like this, and we're gonna have these powerful speakers there, that's cool, that's great. But again, if you only do it once or twice, well, what's the use of it?
Yeah.
You know, there's no continuing this process. Meaning, the more you do it, the more it grows. The
Right.
more it grows, the more impact it has. So that's why I say I kind of feel like it was just a head count to see, you know, how many of y'all will actually show up and what are the, um, if you will, what will happen if you do show up. So,
Yeah.
and from what I've seen, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
And that's just me personally. You know, there may have been an impact, you know, following that, but I haven't seen
Right. Um, Another thing, even to piggyback off of what you're saying, you know, you just can't do it that one or two times. It doesn't have to all just be in Washington D.C.
it. Right.
Um, I say the first one, yeah, good, Washington D.C. Hey, show these people that we can be a million strong, and you know, you know, express our, you know, thoughts, feelings, and whatever the case may be, and it be nothing crazy. We all go home, but then after that, there's nothing wrong with doing similar things in every major city in every state every
Mm-hmm.
year, or
Yep.
rotate to different states every year, because the fact of the matter is everyone couldn't make it to Washington D.C. um, for various reasons, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not stopping, you know, people from organizing in their states or in their cities alone and doing the same thing. On top of that, you know, as much as a valuable figure as Louis Farrakhan is, not everybody follows the Nation of Islam.
Right.
So you also have to factor that in. And I don't say that to criticize um, that religion or organization, however you want to define it.
Right.
Um, I say that to say us as a people, we have a very big problem traveling on the same accord.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to follow the Nation of Islam. You can follow whatever you follow. But
Right.
what I'm saying is, when it comes to the important things that matter, if we don't follow like the Nation of Islam or the Guardian Angels or whatever the case may be, whatever group that we have, if we don't follow what that group's core beliefs are, it's like we're not going to follow you, period. And that's a problem that again, that's another problem I have, because it's like, we all have the same color skin, we all have the same issues to varying degrees, but when it comes down to the core issues that face us all, we have a problem sticking together and pushing forward.
Yeah, we do. Um, I know me and you had this discussion many of times on the show, um, about the different angles that people view, certain topics. Um, but again, at the end of the day, we both agree that something has to be done as far as the direction that we're going in. My, I don't know, man. I just feel like with that whole situation, things could have been a hell of a lot more impactful than what they were.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not judging, that movement in any shape, form, or fashion. I just feel like what more are we doing besides just gathering and talking?
Right.
Again, if you have no follow up, or you're not trying to make any type of impact in your community, then what are we doing?
Right.
Barbershop talk? Was that really what it was?
Exactly.
Because I kind of feel like what it was, just a barbershop talk.
Yep. Man.
But I take my hat off, to Farrakhan for organizing it and you know bringing brothers together like that. I don't think anywhere in history has been done like that.
Yeah.
So again, hats off to him and to the Nation of Islam. But I think that we have to do more than just talk. Meaning we don't all have to agree upon the same things, but we at least got to have that one mission statement that
Yeah.
we can all agree to. That's all.
Yeah.
Just that one thing.
Yeah. Um, I think that one thing has been lost over time. Um, and I guess I can, blindly say after the civil rights movement, the civil rights era passed, has gone through, because, they used to, it was a lot more people back then sticking together, fighting for these things. And then as the years went by, it's like that fell off. And then, several decades later, you have the Million Man March, and it's like, well, what stopped the movement from the civil rights era? Because nothing changed, really. I mean, yes, we had a little more freedoms, a little more liberties, a little less BS from other groups, but at the end of
Right.
the day, this is a fight that we have every day, and it shouldn't stop. It just should not stop.
True. So, in short, the basis of the march, um, put black issues back on the nation's political agenda. Um, Unemployment, education, justice system, healthcare, environmental hazards, promote support and self sufficiency in black communities, combat negative stereotypes. So let's go with the first slide up: unemployment, education, justice system, healthcare, environmental hazards. Your thoughts, sir?
Um, the first two, unemployment and education. Um, Unemployment. Um, yes, the the overall landscape of unemployment can be unfair to a degree.
Right.
Um, But at the same time, you have to point the finger at the individual, because we can't sit around and expect handouts, first and foremost. If you want something, you have to go get it. And that's pretty much the same thing when you look at someone who wants to be an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter what your background is. If you want it, go out and get it. You should know what you need to do to accomplish your goals. It's not going to happen overnight. So um you just can't get around that. Like, like I've said before, when I worked at Baltimore City Health Department, I was making $25,000 a year. I could easily been satisfied with that and been struggling. But when other opportunities or other doors was available to me, whether I found them on my own or someone else, hey, this is over here. I went and got that. Um, and I've still seen people who are pretty much satisfied with the little that they get, but yet they complain so much.
Right.
Um, and that's one thing that blows my mind. So, I mean, with that, so before I jump on education, I'll let you throw your words in on the unemployment.
All right. I feel like when it comes down to unemployment, um, again, like it's on the individual, right? We know that the system can be unfair when it comes down to uh, melanated people. Meaning, if you go into prison, I don't care if it was for something like theft or something along that line. Just because you have that prison record, it makes it damn near impossible for you to find employment. But again, when you are facing odds like that, you still have to get out and hustle.
Right.
Meaning, I don't care if you have to damn wash cars, clean windows, scrape damn driveways, uh, hold a damn sign and twirl that son bitch. I mean, you just got to do what you got to do in order to get by. It's all about the grind. If you can get yourself in the mindset of let me grind legitimately, um, other doors will open for you.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to put yourself in that space first. There are some individuals who, you know, go by other means of getting money, not always legal. But again, if you're in that, that lane of getting your money, you got to be smart about how you use your money once you do get it. There has to
Right.
be a goal of let me get enough money to do this or do that. It's kind of like Ghost in the series Power. He wanted to make the transition of getting out of the street life into legitimate business. That was his ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm.
But brothers or people in that line, I'm not gonna say brothers, I'm gonna say people in that line, you got to again have an objective.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to actually working, man, sometimes you just got to create your own opportunities. Like Soul Toucher was saying, people aren't gonna hand things out to you. You got to get out there and grind, and you got to make it happen for yourself. That's the only way you can get that respect that you're looking for, because you went out there, you made the opportunity happen for yourself.
Right.
But education, when it comes down to education, I don't feel that college is necessarily the be all. College just isn't for everyone. There are plenty of trade schools out here, technical colleges, things along that line. And then there are some people who just have an idea, or they have a passion about something, or they have a talent about something,
Mm-hmm.
that they could utilize better than what they're doing. But education itself, you got to educate yourself, meaning you have to pick up the books, you have to read into and study what it is you have an interest in.
Right.
It's like when you left high school or left school, people just, for some reason, they don't want to read anymore. They don't want to do self-improvement anymore. They just feel like, okay, so I'm done with that now. There's no
Mm-hmm.
need for me to keep trying to educate myself.
Yeah.
Again, college is great. Not knocking anyone for going, and wanting to achieve, higher education. It's a great thing. But again, there has to be a use for it. Meaning there are so many people out here now who have gone to school for so and so and so and so, but don't even use that damn degree.
Yeah.
It's just a piece of paper if you don't even use it. It's just saying that you took the time out of your life to go for higher education, which again is good, it's cool, it's great. Salute. But at the end of the day, it's all about freeing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Working for someone else is great. Love it. I do it myself.
Yeah.
But I know at the back of my mind, that's not my ultimate goal. So again, you got to continuously educate yourself on what it is you have an interest in.
Yeah. When it comes to education, the education system in the United States is trash. Period. Um, what frustrates me about the American education system as it pertains to us is a lot of us complain that it shortchanges us as far as our history in this country. Now, while I will agree to an extent, my problem is it's not particularly their job to teach us our history. Who are they to teach us our history? And I want people to hear me when I say that. Who are they to teach us our history? Our history is our responsibility. It's our job to teach our history. We cannot leave that in the hands of an education system that does not belong to us. This education is catered towards a lot of whatever. Um, it is not, in my opinion, it is not designed to make the average American citizen uh, competitive globally. If you look at, yes, we have some fine educational institutions in this country, which is why a lot of people from other countries come here and go to these fine institutions. But when you look at the educational system that we have, it pretty much gives you the basics that you should learn as you develop in age. Um, it also gives you the basics in order for you to be more marketable in the corporate world. Um, I will agree with you. It's not the end all be all. It's not the fountain of forgiveness or life, the well of life.
Right.
It's not that. Um, but too many, I think, too many of our people focus on the educational system not teaching our history or omitting it or whitewashing. It's like stop looking at it like that. You're not sending your child to school to learn Black history. That's not what they're going to school for. And if you feel your child should know that, then you as a parent, you as a family, you as a community need to put in place programs where that stuff is extensively taught, extensively made available to these young minds. Because the more you bitch and complain about, oh, there are no community centers for this, that, and the other, again, why are you leaving it to other people to supply the needs that we can produce on our own? Um, on top of that, you know, although the educational system is there for us, it takes the individual to want to learn. And I say that because from my own experiences, I didn't give a damn about math. Therefore, algebra is a struggle for me. Trig is a struggle for me. Geometry is a struggle for me. My extent in math is, you know what? I know enough math to where I won't get screwed over in society. All that other stuff, I don't give a damn about. I should have. I could have. But I can't solely blame that on the educational system. I have to blame that, one, on myself, and two, on my environment. Again, we can't keep reaching out saying, hey, y'all not doing this, y'all not doing that, when, again, if we're not doing it ourselves, that's on us.
I totally agree with you. Like when I hear, people talk about they don't offer this or they don't offer that as far as the educational system, meaning classes to teach us about us, man. There's just so many resources out here now, especially with the internet, um, that you can find not about his story, but our story. You know what I'm saying? If you want the information, it's there, but it's not just gonna come and jump in your lap like a little kid.
Mm-mm.
You got to go find it. One thing I found out about doing our own research is one thing will lead you to another thing. Another thing will lead you to another thing, on, and so forth and so forth. The thing
Mm-hmm.
about it is you have to decipher what information you gather applies to you and what doesn't.
Pretty
So
much.
again, there's just no excuse to say, um, I want to learn this, I want to learn that. The education system didn't teach me this, didn't teach me that. But there's nothing stopping you from finding out our story.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So that's part one of, you know, should there be a Million Man March? And another Million Man March, and if so, what should it look like? King and I Life podcast. Myself, Soul, Touch of the Poet, and my man,
Sounds so, Lex?
and we'll be back.
Yes, sir.